The following evening, I wrote a letter addressed to Matsumoto-sensei. As soon as he got word of our return to Edo, he visited us in the hiding place immediately. However, he was not alone.
千鶴ちゃん、よかった、無事で。
How are you two here? Sen? And Kimigiku too? What are the two of you doing here? I'm surprised to see you with Matsumoto-sensei.
こう見えても私、結構顔が広いのよ。
Damn!
前に言ったでしょ？幕府や諸藩の高い位にいる人たちは、鬼の存在を知ってるって。
Alright, that makes sense.
姫様はずっとあなたのことをご心配なさっていたのですよ。ですが、新選組の方々が京を出てから、あなたの消息が途絶えてしまって。
見つけ出すのは苦労したわよ。手紙の一通ぐらいくれてもよかったのに。
I'm so sorry.
やだ、冗談よ。本気にしないで。大変な状況だったっていうのは松本先生から聞かせてもらったから。
いきなり鬼の一族だと名乗られた時はさすがに面食らったがね。
で、一体何をしに来たの？まさかまたこの子を鬼の里とやらに連れて行こうとしてるのか
な。After Okita's interruption, Sen's expression suddenly dropped.
実はね、光道さんについて分かったことがいくつかあるから伝えに来たの。
Really? Sen... I'm seeing shit. Holy fuck. I keep thinking something is moving, but it's not. It's just something in my fucking vision. Sen glanced over at Kimigiku, who nodded in agreement of Sen's news.
皆さん方もご存知の通り、光道さんは徳川幕府の命で落ち水の研究を行っていました。もともと彼は徳川家とは縁がある東国の鬼、雪村家の分家筋の生まれなのですが、その縁を頼られ、落ち水の強い毒を薄める研究をしていたようです。
Increase the potency?
そんなことできるの？三男さんが新選組で何年も研究してたのに結局無理だったんだけど。
いえ、無理とは言い切れないわ。沖田さん、あなたならよく知ってると思うけど、新選組に持ち込まれたばかりの頃の落ち水は今以上に危険なものだったんでしょ？なんとか使える程度になったってことは、薬の効き目や毒を薄めること自体はできなくはないはずよ。
But even if my father is the only one who has any of this information, he's still nowhere to be found. Sen's face suddenly beamed with a bright grin.
それがね、光道さんの居場所が分かったのよ。
Are you serious?
こう見えても顔が広いって言ったでしょ。
So where's my father?
陸奥、かつて雪村の里があった場所です。
My birthplace?
ええ、間違いないわ。大体の場所なら私も知ってるから、後で地図を書いてあげる。
I can't thank you enough, Sen.
光道さんは今でも落ち水の研究を続けてるみたいよ。ラセスになった人を元に戻す方法を見つけてくれてるといいんだけど。
If my father actually were continuing his research on the water of life, even after having been detached from the Shinsengumi, perhaps he was able to find the breakthrough that had eluded Sun for so long. I pondered the possibility of finding a cure that could reverse the effects of the serum permanently. I found myself compelled to glance at Okita, who surely had his own thoughts on the matter.
行きたいの？
Okita turned his head inquisitively. I want to see my father. And beyond finding him, if there was any chance of us finding the antidote for the water of life, then I wanted to give Okita a chance to reclaim his humanity. But if this was to be my quest, then I may need to be separated from Okita.
今すぐ決めるのは難しいかしら。他に気になることもあるでしょうしね。
Sen's tone was rather suggestive, as if she had more to say, and she looked at Matsumoto-sensei.
どう伝えたもんかな。
The doctor pinched his fingers on the bridge of his nose between his brows, stroking in deep thought. I looked as if something troubled him. What was wrong? What could the doctor want to say? I braced myself for the worst-case scenario, breathing in deeply as I waited for him to speak. After a tense moment, Matsumoto-sensei turned his gaze towards Okita, sighing heavily.
近藤さんが新政府軍に投降した。
Okita's face turned pale almost instantly. His lips began to quiver uncontrollably.
何言ってるんですか。こんな時に冗談なんて。先生も人が悪いな。
そう思いたい気持ちはわかるが、事実だからな。
Okita's eyes grew wide.
そんなことあるはずないでしょ。どうして近藤さんが。あの人は。土方さんは一体何をしてたんですか。
Okita shouted frantically at the doctor, and his anger turned into a frenzy. Okita, please calm down! I tried to grab him from behind as he began thrashing about.
落ち着けるわけないでしょ、この状況で。どうしてそんなことになったんです。甲府からは生きて戻ってきたんでしょ。
事の経緯は私にもよくわからん。だが近藤さんが投降したのは間違いない。これは幕府のお偉いさんから聞いた話だからな。
How could Kondo-san surrender everything to the Imperial Army? Could it really have happened? Why? So what does this mean for the Shinsengumi? If Kondo-san surrendered, does it mean...
まだ降伏はしておらんよ。今は土方君が隊を率いて北に向かってるらしい。
Hijikata is... I could only hope for the best. I knew that Hijikata-san held Kondo-san in the highest regard. However, I could see him surrendering if it meant keeping Kondo-san safe while in enemy clutches. Or at least, this is what I would have expected from Hijikata-san.
つまり、近藤さんを見捨てて自分だけ逃げたってことですか。あの人を大名にするためなら何でもするとか散々言ってたくせに。近藤さんはずっと土方さんのことを信じてたのに、あの人はその気持ちを裏切ったんだ。
Okita's veins were popping from his forehead.
少し落ち着いたら。その時どういう状況だったかなんてあなたにはわからないでしょう。
僕たちのことを何も知らないよそ者が下り顔で口を挟まないでくれるかな。
Okita! I admonished Okita for taking his frustrations out on Sen, who'd only wanted to help, but he acted as if we were in any position to act hastily, and he directed his next question to Matsumoto-sensei.
近藤さんは今どこにいるんです？
That is one dangerous question.
それを知ってどうするんだね。
He knows that that is one dangerous question to answer.
どうするって決まってるじゃないですか。近藤さんは こんなことで死んでいい人じゃない。
無理だ。もう君一人でどうにかできる事態じゃなくなっちまってる。
どうしてですか。僕は羅刹になってるんですよ。たとえ敵がどれだけいてもこの刀で片っ端から切り殺してみせます。
新選組大使が近藤さんを助けに来るだろうってのは新政府側も想定してるはずだ。その中に羅刹が紛れてるかもしれないだろうってこともな。以前銀の銃弾で撃たれたことを忘れたのかね。
Okita's head dropped low, and he became despondent. His cheeks turned pale as the realization began to sink more deeply, and his shoulders trembled. Then Kondo-san is... Matsumoto sighed deeply.
私も幕府のお偉いさん方に除名嘆願をするつもりだが、幕府は新政府軍を刺激したくないって意向が強いらしくてな。何せ話がこじれれば江戸はたちまち火の海だ。
No! Kondo-san had given his life, everything, for years, to both the shogunate and the supreme commander. And after all that he had sacrificed, they were intent on abandoning him towards the very end? Okita stood still, simmering in his angry mood. He turned his back from us, and he tried leaving the room without saying a word. Matsumoto-sensei tailed right behind him, grabbing a hold of his shoulder to stop him from going further.
待ちなさい。どこへ行くつもりだね。
何度も同じことを言わせないでください。近藤さんを助けるんです。あの人だけは何があっても守らなきゃ。
そんな真似医者として許すわけにはいかん。以前は黙っていたが君の体は。
Matsumoto-sensei paused, as if he were searching for a precise combination of words to avoid offending Okita.
老害が治ってないって言うんでしょ。それがどうしたんですか。僕の命なんてどうなってもいいんです。近藤さんを助けることができるなら。
Okita was cut short just as he was raising his voice. Oh, shit. Okita!
雪村君、すぐに床の支度を。
I began tending to Okita's bed, just as the doctor had instructed.
間が悪い時に来ちゃったわね。ごめんなさい。
Don't worry about it. By now, Okita had lost consciousness, and he was drenched in sweat. Ever since drinking the water of life, Okita's tuberculosis symptoms had subsided a bit. But between the journey to Kofu and his battle with Kaoru, his body had regressed from all of the excess stress, even more than I had anticipated.
千鶴ちゃん、あなたこれからどうするの？すぐに陸奥へ向かうつもりなら手助けしてあげられるけど。
I truly appreciated Sen's offer, but...
それとも今は沖田さんのそばにいたい？
I nodded.
そうよね。さっきの様子を見たら放っておくなんてできないわよね。
I'm so sorry. You came all this way to deliver the information about my father, too.
謝る必要なんてないわよ。ただくれぐれも気をつけてね。松本先生の言葉通り、新政府軍は近藤さんを厳重に監視してるみたいだから。
さて、それじゃあ我々はそろそろ失礼させてもらうよ。
Okay. Thank you so much for today.
礼には及ばんさ。だが、沖田君を近藤さんのもとに行かせてはならんぞ。彼は自分の命などどうでもいいと言っていたが、近藤さんだって沖田君の命と引き換えに生き延びたいなんて思っちゃいないはずだ。
それでは失礼いたします。また何かあればお知らせしますので。
Thank you. I bowed deeply as I watched Matsumoto Sensei, Sen, and Kimikiko file out of the room. A few days passed since their visit, and I had spent most of the time tending to Okita's critical condition. The thought of Kondo-san in captivity made me shiver with anxiety, so I was a bit distracted, but Okita promised me that he would put all of his focus into recuperating before leaving the hiding place. Okita? Are you still awake? I'm coming in. I called his name through the sliding door, and as I softly opened it, I found Okita standing tall. Hey! What do you think you're doing, Okita? Why are you out of bed? What are you going to do if you start coughing again?
大げさだな。あそこにある刀を取ろうと思っただけだよ。
Sword? Don't tell me you plan on leaving to find Kondo-san, especially in your condition.
君って早とちりだよね。僕だって無駄死になんてごめんだよ。近藤さんの仇を取るのは体調がもう少しマシになってからに決まってるでしょ。
I felt a slight sense of relief.
あそこにある刀取ってくれる？
This one? I grabbed the sword atop the rack sitting across from Okita's futon, and I offered it to him with both of my hands. I felt a significant weight in the sword, which looked rather unfamiliar to me, as I handed it to Okita.
ありがとう。
Okita took the sword from me, and his eyes thinned as his gaze ran up and down the length of the sword. Wow. Drink the rest of this milk tea. That was not bad. As far as milk tea goes. Black tea leaf. Ah, that would explain it. That explains the flavor. So milk, black tea. The Patamon drink is done! That sword. It looks different to the one you normally use. Okita said nothing, as if he didn't hear me.
ゆうべね、近藤さんの夢を見たんだ。
Kondo-san? He let out a melancholy chuckle before beginning to detail his dream. This must have been 3 years ago, when the shogun had ordered us to do the second Choshu expedition. Kondo-san stopped by my room.
ソジ、お前も聞いてると思うが、俺は幕命で今度長州の視察に行くことになったんだ。
その話は聞いてますけど、別に近藤さんが行く必要なんてないんじゃないですか？そういうのが得意な人は他にたくさんいるでしょう。
そういうわけにはいかんさ。これは幕府直々の命令だからな。
じゃあ僕も一緒に行きます。長州なんかに行ったらいつ暗殺されるかわからないじゃないですか。
Kondo-san's expression held firm, and it was far more stern than usual.
ダメだ。同行は許さん。
どうしてです？近藤さんを守るのは僕の役目でしょ。
But even if I wanted him to, Kondo-san had no interest in answering my questions. He just glanced over to his side, grabbed the sword on the rack next to him, and he handed it to me.
これは
山城の神藤原国清だ。
Oh god. Yamashiro no kami Fujiwara Kunikiyo. A sword tempered by smiths of the highest order that was gifted to Shoji Okita by Isami Kondo. It is the work of a second generation Kunikiyo swordsmith.
お前ずっと菊門の刀を欲しがっていただろ。
Chrysanthemum sword. Oh god. Chrysanthemum sword, a sword with the logo of a chrysanthemum. Emperor Go-Taba created this sword. Also points to swords that were approved to get a chrysanthemum logo. What? A sword with the logo of a chrysanthemum. Emperor Go-Toba created the sword. Also points to swords that were approved to get a chrysanthemum logo. What? I remembered absentmindedly mentioning something about it to Kondo-san a while before, but
どうしていきなりこれを
And then Kondo-san looked me dead in the eye, and I'd never seen him more serious than in that moment.
天然理心流五代目宗主にふさわしい刀だと思ってな。
Oh! Oh! Tenanishin, a school of swordplay popular in the Tama region. Kondo-san is a master of the style, and Hijikata, Okita, and Inoue were among his students. Oh. My stomach dropped, like all the blood in my body just seeped from my feet. I mean, for me to succeed him as a teacher. Ah! Of the history that I know of the Shinsengumi, Kondo-san was the fourth successor, and this just made Okita the fifth? Effectively making Okita the heir of this style. I don't know how to feel right now.
受け取れません。お返しします。
おい宗司、
僕が5代目を継ぐとしたらもっとずっと先のことです。近藤さんが秀才先生の後を継いだ時みたいに。
Master Shusai, the third generation master of the Tenanishin style of swordsmanship, the adopted father of Isami Kondo, who established Shie Hall. And this is true. Kondo is adopted.
近藤さんがおじいさんになってどうしても木刀を震えなくなったその時だけですよ。
Oh my god. Kondo stared at me like I was a young child, which made it difficult to feel like my words had any weight, but eventually...
宗司、そう言ってくれるのはありがたいが、今はいつ何時万一のことがあるかわからん時代なんだ。俺は百姓の生まれだが、武士となった今、いつでも将軍公のためこの命を捨てる覚悟をしている。だがもし天然理心流の名が俺の代で絶えてしまうことになったら、死んでも死にきれんよ。
I just kept looking down, but I felt Kondo rubbed his warm hand around my shoulder.
頼んだぞ、宗司。
And he placed the sword into my hands.
ひどい人だよね、近藤さんって。近藤さんの後を継ぐことなんて。 きるはずないじゃない。
I'm having so many feelings right now.
僕はまだ教えてもらってないことがたくさんあるのに。
Okita.
この刀を近藤さんの形見になんてさせない。させてたまるもんか。
I'm invested. I don't know where this story is going. Okita held the sword tenderly for a while, and I could tell that its symbol meant more to Okita than any one of us could possibly imagine.
これありがとう。刀掛けに戻しておいて。
I grabbed the blade from Okita, and I placed it atop the majestic rack. From behind a sliding door, I could hear the faint chirp of cicadas who'd wandered into the house. Ah! As we listened to their cries in silence, Okita grabbed a hold of my hand and spoke up.
ねえ、千鶴ちゃん。君は僕が近藤さんのところに行くの反対？
Whatever you do, do not let Okita seek Kondo-san. This was a strict order from Matsumoto-sensei. What should I tell him? I can't stop you! I can't stop you. Because I know how much he means to you, Okita. Okita sighed in relief, and he flashed a confident smirk. We're going against the doc's orders! And we're going to...
君ならそう言ってくれると思った。
We're going to love for the ride!
ねえ、千鶴ちゃん、こっちにおいで。
Hmm?
おいで。
He made his request more formally, and I walked slowly to his futon as he asked. Then he grabbed my wrist and drew me closer to his chest. This wasn't the first time that Okita had embraced me tightly, but no matter how many times he touched me, I couldn't have imagined ever tiring of the sensation. Being engulfed by his warmth and sin enraptured me more than enough to make my heart pound. But more than that, it was the comfort from being close to him, feeling certain that this was where I belonged, that I loved most.
僕のこと心配なんだよね。
Of course. I let my body sink deeper against his, and I bit into my lips nervously. I thought about Okito's fragile health and how brave he was to re-enter the fray in his condition. My one true inclination would have been for him to stay, and I held him more tightly as the possibility of losing him came to mind. But even so, it wasn't as if I couldn't understand just how much Kondo-san had meant to him.
僕、最初に会った時から君にひどいことばかりしてきたと思うんだけど、それでも離れていかないのはどうして？
I don't really understand why either.
同情？それとも僕に落ち水を飲ませたのが君の兄さんだったから負い目でも感じてるの？
It's neither of those things.
じゃあどうして？
My heart yearned to tell the truth, to share with him my most intimate of secrets. But for now, I felt best to let Okita focus on saving Kondo-san. He needed all the help he could get to keep his emotions in check. I can't explain it either. It's just difficult to take my eyes off you.
そっか。
I felt as though my answer may not have been what he'd hoped to hear, given his curt answer. Okita sighed deeply, as if he were too distraught to give me more. What about you, Okita? Why do you continue to let me stay by your side? He flared his nostrils, sneering as he usually did.
君が答えてくれないから、僕も答えてあげない。
I suppose it was his way of getting back at me, and I chose to savor the time I'd had in his arms.